section 2.1. This is the second part. They ask you how to graph the function. So check here. Have y equal x squared plus 3. We already know that x here with this function is the input, and the output is the y. Input, that means the number you're gonna plug in here to get the y. A simple graph here. This function 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. You have yeah, you can graph it. Okay. Let's check how to graph polynomial in simple way. Sorry, function in simple way. So first of all, you have to check which one is the input, which one is the output. The input on this function is the x. And every time when you plug in x, you're gonna get what? Y. So x is independent variable. By itself, you can choose any type of x. But the y is depending variable. Y depending on x. There is no x, there is no y. Get the idea? So now with this function is x squared, always choose, let's say, the maximum 5 numbers. Choose 2 negative, 2 positive, and the 0. Always when I'm graphing, I'm always choose the 0. It's easy to graph. So I'm going to choose negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Let's try to plug it. If you plug in negative 2 here, that means it's going to be negative 2 squared plus 3. That's an important thing. Even when you plug in, always put parentheses and the square outside. Now, negative 2 squared means negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. That means x is negative 2. How much the y? 7. It's a point. Negative 2 and 7. Is that okay? It's a point with x, y, and I can graph the point. Now, negative 1. Same thing. Negative 1 squared plus 3. Negative 1 squared is 1. Plus 3. I think the second point is negative 1 and 4. 0. Plug in 0 here. So give me 0 squared plus 3. So cool. 0 squared is 0 plus 3 is going to be 3. Third point is 0, 3. Plug in 1. 1 squared plus 3 also is going to be 4. So it's going to be 1 and 4. Plug in 2. 2 squared plus 3. 4 plus 3. 7. 2 and 7. Now we're gonna ask, okay, how I know the domain? The domain for this function, what's the meaning of domain? Just the input. Check that in another section. The domain, it's mean the input value. Which input value I can choose here? With x squared, we have the function x squared. The domain always negative infinity and positive infinity. Always you can choose negative number and positive numbers. When x squared, every time you see x squared, keep in your mind, I can choose negative numbers and positive number. Why? Because the domain is negative infinity and positive infinity. Is that okay? Now to graph this function, I just have to graph these points. -7, -2, and 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be here. The first number. -1 and 4. This is -1, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the second one. 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next one, 1, 4. Here is 1, and here is 4. And then 2, 7 is going to be. So our graph is going to be parabola up on both sides. And keep going up, because if you choose these numbers, so it's going to go to the from both sides. Okay, so far. So always before you start the graphing, you have to make sure the domain of the function. From which number to which numbers I can plug in. With x squared, you can plug in negative numbers and positive numbers. Okay. Now let's see next example. Okay, so always before we start the graphing, you have to make sure which one is the input, which one is the output. The input is x, the output is y. Now, what's the domain for this function? That's really important. And we're gonna take this one again. Which number I can start plugging here? Can I plug in? Okay, you're gonna choose 5 numbers. Okay, let's create the table. Yes, I'm gonna create, because that's what I'm doing. The first time when I see grab this function, I'm gonna create the table. X, Y, right? Here's the important thing. Which numbers I can put here? With the previous graph, you said the domain negative and positive. We can choose negative numbers and positive numbers. And don't worry about which numbers you're going to choose. Negative million, negative, positive million is going to be the same graph.
Positive number.
Say it again.
Positive.
Okay, that's a good point. We can plug in the positive. But which number I can start with? That's the important idea. Like if you plug in 3, 3 plus 3, 6. 6 is okay. Square root of 6 is going to be a number. Plug in 2. 2 plus 3, 5. 5, I can work with 5.
1.
1 plus 3, 4. Square root of 4 is going to be 2. It's going to be fine. 0. 0 plus 3, 3. Now, square root of 3, there is a number. Yes, it's a decimal, but it's still a number, you can graph it. What about -1?
Yes.
-1 plus 3, 2. 2, still a number. Square root of 2, you can find it, it's going to be decimal. What about -2? It's going to be 1. Still, square root of 1 is 1. What about if you plug in -3?
Yes.
0. Square root of 0, yes, it's going to be 0. You can start from 0. What about -4?
-1 is a number.
Maybe square root of -1, which is mean what? Imaginary number. So I can't graph it. So I can start from which number? No, -3. -3 plus 3 is going to be 0. So I can start, that's mean my domain. I'm going to give you an easier way to find it. The domain is started from which number?
0.
From 0 to, of course, we have to put the 0 bracket because it's include to infinity. Okay? So I can start from 0. Can I start? No, not 0. From -3. When I plug in -3 is going to be 0. So I can, well, can I start from -4? No, because it's going to be -1, which is imaginary number. Now -3, that's mean, tell me the numbers here, the input. Can I choose -3? Can I choose, let's pick a number, there's a root for it. -2 is going to be 1, so I can choose -2, right? Yes or no? By the way, you can choose any number, but I need to choose a number I can graph it. We're not gonna graph 1 point. So -3, -2. Can I choose? What else? Okay, let's choose 0. What else?
1.
1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. Don't scare. But that's the main thing. We start from -3. Now, okay, they say, okay, how I'm gonna figure out? There is an easy way to figure out the domain. So which number I can start with? Yes. Always to figure out which number I can start. I'm gonna take everything here. X plus 3 greater than or equal to 0. Okay? Always. This is when you have square root function and you try to graph it, so you have to figure out the domain. Always take everything under the root greater than or equal to 0. Can I solve this inequality? -3 from both sides. -3. So maybe x greater than or equal what? Is that the same thing here? Greater than or equal -3. That's mean I can start from -3 to the infinity. Is that okay? And based on that, when you figure out the domain, you can choose any number from -3 and keep going up. Is that okay? Fine. Now, what's the next step? Just plug in the numbers. Plug in -3 here. With the square root of -3 plus 3, which is okay, square root of 0 equals 0. Next step, next one, square root of -2 plus 3. Square root of 1 is going to be 1. Plug in the 0. 0 plus 3 is going to be square root of. Plug in 1. 1 plus 4 plus 3. Square root of 4 is going to be 2. Is that going to be 1 point something? Tell me how much is going to be this one. Square root of plus 3, square root of 5. Is that okay? Can we find the point? How much is going to be 1 point? Square root of 3 should be between 1 and 2. 1.73. Okay. 1.73. Let's say 1.7. Square root of 5 is going to be 2.1. How much square root of 5? I think there's a way to, let me show you. 2.23, okay. Oh,
Sir, you press this button right here.
which one?
This one, the second one from the corner. And then it changes it.
It changed, okay. Yeah, so this is right. Square root. This one should be 2.23, okay. You think so? You can graph 2.3 better than square root of 5. Now this is x, this is y. Points here. -0, -2 and 1, 0 and 1.7. The next one is going to be 1 and 2. 2.2 and. So a simple graph here. Out from -3. 2, 3, 6, 7. The first point -3, 0, which is going to be where? The first point. The second point -2 and 1. So -2 and here is 1. 0 and 1.7. 0, 1.7 is going to be a little bit up. So okay.
-2. 2, and 1.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
You put in the negative 1 and 1.
Oh, no, because this is the, right, this is negative 3. This is the first point. Negative. So negative 3 and 0, and negative 2 and 1 is going to be here. This is the next one. And 1, 2, so 1 and 2 a little bit up. 2, 2, 3. Say here. So check how it look like the graph. Not here, but it should be like this. So this is the graph, and if you check the graph, you go back to do this one again. Of the basic function, this one, like this. This is the basic function. We're gonna study this one in the section. Okay, so far. Now with this example, y is the input, and the output is going to be the value of x. Because check here. You're gonna input value of x to get the y. Oh, sorry, you're gonna input the value of y to get the x. So y is, this one is the input, and this one is, let's create the table. Oh, wait, sorry.
Can I interrupt for a quick second? We have a test coming up.
Kind of. So I'm gonna create the same table. Now do the opposite thing. X, Y, to get the point, right? X, Y. Which one is the input? The Y value is the input. Now, give me a Y value as an input.
-4.
Okay, let's start with -4. So we said Y, I'm gonna put -4. -4 minus 4 will be 0. -4 minus 4. -8. What's the absolute value of -8? Is that okay? Now another number. Choose another number here with the Y. Another number. -2. -2. Plug in -2 here. -2 minus 4. 6 square root of sorry. Absolute value of 6 is going to be absolute value of -6 is going to be 6. Let's choose the 0. Plug in the 0. 0 minus 4. -4. The absolute value of -4.
4.
Let's choose 2. 2 minus 4.
2.
-2. Absolute value of -2. 2. What else? 4. 4 minus 4. Absolute value of 0 is. I graph these numbers. So 8, -4. Careful, this is the x, this is the y. But the input is the y. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With -4. 6, -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -2. What's the next number? 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What else? 2 and 2. else?
0, 4.
0, 4, which is x is 0, y is 4. We need more numbers because the graph should be like this. Okay, so you get only one side. Here is the original graph. Okay, but if you pick more numbers, the graph should be like this.
So once we get to the positive side, it stays the same. We're still in absolute.
Oh, you're talking about this side?
Like the next one would have been,
Oh, this one. Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Like if we would have put 7 minus 4,
7. If you choose 7, 7 minus 4,
3,
3.
so it'd be 3.
So if you grab this point,
It's always positive when it's
Yeah.
absolute.
so 7 is going to be here and with the 3 here. See, so the graph is going to go back like this. Is that okay? So what is the graph? I will say it by like this. But because y is the input and x is the output. It's just like different way to plug in. Okay, so far? So let's first of all try to figure out how we're gonna find the x-intercept. So always when they ask you find the x-intercept, so x-intercept, this is not minus, x-intercept, what does that mean? Find the x-intercept, you're gonna let y equal 0. Is that okay? They ask you find the intercept. To find the x-intercept, you're gonna let y equal 0. Now to find y-intercept, you're gonna let x equal 0. Is that okay so far? But what's the meaning of x-intercept? Y-intercept. So let's do a simple graph here. You're gonna tell me. Here's a simple graph. I'm gonna put a function like this. X-intercept. The graph is the graph of the function. The graph intersect with the x coordinate at which point? At this point, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the x-intercept is -4 and
0.
because the graph intersect with the x coordinate at which point? At -4 and 0. Check. When you're trying to find the x-intercept, you're gonna let y equal
0.
0. Check the y equal what? The y equals 0. Always going to be 0. You got it? Now tell me the y-intercept. The graph intersect with the y coordinate at which point?
4.
Like, I didn't know that before, but let's see. It's not going to be the same point always. You know the idea? So the y-intercept is going to be what? 0, 4. Because when you're trying to find the y-intercept, the x always. Is that okay so far? Let's see the answers. Now let's check how we're gonna find the x-intercept and the y-intercept if there is no graph. Again, if there is a graph like this one, it's easy to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. What about if we have, like, example 13? Y minus x squared equal 9. How are we gonna find the x-intercept and the y-intercept?
For the x, 0.
With these. So to find x-intercept, let y equal 0. So I'm gonna put 0 here. Minus x squared equal 9. So what's the left from here? I have to solve it now. negative x squared equal 9. How are we gonna solve this one? We're gonna solve this one.
We're gonna get the root,
So you can take the root because there's negative sign here.
divided by 1.
Okay, divide by -1. So x squared is going to be -9. And take the root. The square root of x squared equals square root of -9. This is x equal plus or minus what is the square root of 3
The I,
i. So this is right. This is the x-intercept. But we can't use a complex number. So in this case, we're going to type no x. Very high level when you study complex numbers. That's a different topic. Is that okay so far? This is only the x-intercept. How to find the y-intercept? Let x equal 0. Now we're going to go back here. Y minus 0 squared equal 9. That's mean y equal 9. So the y-intercept is what? 0 and 9. Okay. So there is no x-intercept. And how many y-intercept do we have? 1 y-intercept. How to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept? Same technique. Find the x-intercept, you're gonna let y equals 0. Here is the y. So x is going to be equal 0 minus 3 plus 2. X is going to be absolute value of -3 plus 2. What is the value of x? That's mean the point is 5, 0. This is the x-intercept. What about the y-intercept? Let x equals 0. Let's put 0 here. So 0 is going to be equal y minus 3 plus 2. How are we gonna solve this one? Okay, perfect. You're gonna say -2 from both sides. The first step will be -2 equal y minus 3. How are you gonna solve this one?
Absolutely.
Go back to section 1.6. Remember this? Remember this?
we're gonna substitute.
No. Go back to section 1.6. Do you remember this? I have 4 cases. The first case, if k greater than 0, if k equals 0, if k equal negative number, how are we gonna find the solution? I gave you 4 cases. K equal negative number. What's the solution? Says what? Says what? Say it again. No solution. That's it. This is the K. It look like you're saying equal -2, which is the absolute value of u equal negative number. K is negative number. So no y. You have to keep making connection. I'm doing the same thing. Just the rule. How to find the x-intercept? X-intercept, you let y equals 0. Y equals 0 here, so it's going to be x squared over 9 plus 0 plus 3 squared over 4 That's mean x squared over 9 plus t squared 9 over 4. Is that okay? Let's solve this one.
You gotta make the same denominator.
Okay, let's use this method. I didn't think about that, but should be work. I just was thinking moving the 9 over to the other side, and but what's the least common denominator?
36.
Okay, let's multiply by 36. Let's multiply everything by 6. X squared over 9, 36, 9 over 4, 36, 1 times. Is that okay? Simplify it. 36 with the 9 for x squared. All right? Yes or no? Now 4 with the 36. 9, 9 times 9. Is that okay? No, it's easier to work on. Move the 81 to the other side. Right. Cancel here. So it'll be 4x squared. For what? For what? Negative 4, 5. Next step. What am I gonna do? Divide by 4. So x squared equal negative 45 divided by 4. Keep it like this. Now divide. Now next step. Take the square root for both sides. The square root of x squared equals the square root of negative 4, 5 divided by 4. This one x, this one a plus or minus. What's the square root of negative 45? It's a negative sign, right? What's the square root of 45? Okay, the negative sign, I'm going to take it out as what? As an I. I'm done from the negative sign. 45, what's the square root of 45? 3 square root of 5. There's a 3, there's the square root of 5. What's the square root of 4? 2. That's it. But still there's negative, there's an I. So what's that mean? There is no x-intercept.
No,
X-intercept. Okay, it's fine. For me, I'm not gonna do these steps. I just see negative sign under the root, negative sign under the root. No solution. That means no x-intercept. Now, what about y-intercept? Always one of them is super long. If this is long, 100% the other one is going to be short. Let x equals 0, we're going to put 0 here. 0 squared over 9 plus y plus 3 squared over 4 is going to be equal to 1. So this is 0. You don't have to remember that. And what's the left? Y plus 3 squared over 4 equals 1. Now, how are we going to solve this one? The same way you did.
have to multiply the 4.
By 4, which is the least common denominator. Yes, we can multiply everything by 4. By 4, I'll give you y plus 3 squared over 4 times 4. Equal 1 times 4. Cancel these. What's the left? Y plus 3 squared equals 4. Is that okay? Now what's the next? What's the next? I'm gonna solve this one. Think. Square root both sides. Square root 5 plus 3. Square root 4. So on the left, 5 plus 3 equal plus or minus 2. Now, how many solutions do we have? We have y plus 3 equal 2, and we have y plus 3 equal negative 2. For this one, by minus 3 from both sides, so y is going to be equal to negative 1. That means we have y-intercept, which is 0 and negative 1. On the other side, move the 3 to the other side, so minus 3 from both sides, so it'll be negative 5. That means 0 and negative 5. No x-intercept, and how many y-intercept? 2 y.